Alright, so today we are going to be talking about VWAP. Now, what is VWAP? VWAP is the volume weighted average price, okay? So, you're going to find this tool on TradingView under the indicators tab or on a software, an order flow software of any kind. And let me just show you what it is. So pretty much it looks like a moving average, but what you realize is that it moves a little bit differently. Now, you probably see that there's three lines on my chart. One, two, three. One is the daily, one is the weekly, and one is the monthly. Okay. Now, the monthly VWAP is used for a higher time frame bias. Typically, finding out where price is going to draw to on the higher time frames. Okay. The weekly VWAP, same thing. The daily is lower time frame bias. So what you notice is that whenever price is in the VWAP, it typically ranges, but sometimes uses it for means reversion. Okay. So typically, whenever we are near the VWAP, we range. But a lot of times we come into it and we reject, and we come into it and we reject, and we're using it as a balance point. And because it moves with price and the balance point is up, it typically works with trends a lot. Alright? Now on higher time frames, you're going to see the same thing with with the weekly and monthly VWAPs. So the VWAP's moving down, we are coming into it, and we're just going to be leaving it consistently. Okay? As you can see right here, there is the weekly VWAP being used for means reversion. Okay, so what means reversion is it's whenever price is trending and it then retraces into a point, which in this case is the weekly VWAP, and then continues. It needs to like balance itself out mid trend. So that's what a lot of retracements are. Okay. So how do you trade using these? Well, it's pretty simple. Whenever price, whenever price, if this is the VWAP line, okay, whenever price is below, we typically are going to want to trade to it. Okay. Now, whenever we trade to it, see what happens. If we reject, you can assume we are going to break this low and continue down until we eventually come back up to it. Now, this time we come up to it, we break it. You can assume we are going to continue up. We come back down. Now this time, we come back down. Now this time, we don't really do anything. We just start going like this. So you really have to understand if price is going to hit it, reject, hit it, continue, or hit it and trend. There's three things that can happen, and you will be able to figure it out eventually. It is pretty confusing at the start, but you will eventually be able to figure it out. Okay. That is how you are going to trade using the VWAP. You are going to want to use it for trades to it to away, to it to past it, and knowing when not to trade. So if we are underneath, can I don't think I can. No. If we are underneath the weekly VWAP and underneath the daily, and we are trending up, we come down, and now we start trending up. What are you looking to do? You're looking to buy one of these two VWAPs. Alright? It is really simple. So you know you're not going to be looking for sells. So you have a clear bias, you look for a fair value gap, you look for a CISD, you look for something, and you can enter. Now, if we see the weekly VWAP right here, and we see the daily VWAP right here, and we see price right here, doing this, what are we not going to do? We are not going to trade. Why? Because we are ranging. We are using this as a balance point. So price moves from imbalance to balance, and from balance to balance, and from imbalance to imbalance. Okay, it's always moving from imbalance to balance, or some form of balance to imbalance, or something like that. It's really confusing. But So that's how you want to use the VWAP. You want to use it as a point of balance. Now, if there's a point of balance, price might use it as a point of imbalance if it's coming from a point of balance. I hope that made sense. I know it's kind of confusing. So, and then if we see the weekly or the monthly VWAP way up here, the weekly VWAP right here with it, trading really close to it. We see the daily VWAP down here. We see price trade into the daily, have a nice rejection off. Now guess what? What are you looking to do? You are looking to buy up to here. A lot of times price will miss it. What do I mean? So as you can see, this is price hitting the VWAP right then. Now, a lot of times this will happen. You come up and we miss it. And we just leave it. So you have to be careful. It's not that easy. You have to be careful. A lot of times we are going to miss it. And the reason why is because there's so many ways that banks can use the VWAP. Different time frames, different well, maybe even different data completely. So a lot of times you're just gonna see price come very close to the VWAP and then reject because the bank that was going to take a trade here did, because it hit their VWAP. Alright? That is pretty much how you're gonna want to use VWAP. If we look through these examples, you can see this entire day opened above VWAP. We were trading above these two VWAPs the entire time. News came out, hit the VWAP right here, okay? Now what? We trade right back up into it, into these two VWAPs, and then up into this one, ranging around the weekly VWAP, okay? Right here. We see the monthly VWAP down here. We see the daily VWAP being used as a price range to consolidate and just reject, inverse, reject, okay? The weekly VWAP is kind of just there, okay? Didn't really do much. If we look at this day, you're going to see the means reversion day again, 2 times. This entire day is above both the VWAPs. I don't know where the daily is, but it might be under there. Oh yeah, it's under there. This is the daily because it's the start of a new week. Now, this day, look how far we are from the monthly VWAP. So, it's not crazy to have a bearish bias. Boom, market's doing its thing. 10 a.m. news comes out. We are staying below the VWAP until we get down here. Still stay below it. Okay? Here, VWAP super low. Here, horrible ranging day. You can typically tell if a day is going to range by if overnight was ranging, the day is typically going to range. So overnight's ranging around VWAP, means reversion. Boom. Just, you have to know when we're going to be ranging around VWAP, and that's why you don't trade some days, okay? Being near VWAP is a good sign, but it's way better of a sign to be far away from it. Here, see the monthly VWAP being used for means reversion. Daily means reversion, monthly means reversion. Boom, inverse means reversion. Up here, means reversion. Boom. Here, daily means reversion. Monthly. We tap into the monthly, we find balance, we move up. Look at this daily. Okay? Look at this, means reversion right there. Boom, right here. Up, down. Okay? This is far back as I think my data goes. No, I'll go farther. This day. Look at that. See price consolidating around the VWAP. Now we see the weekly VWAP down here. Boom, tap into it perfectly. Reject. This day, consolidating. Consolidating here, but boom. Tap, tap, tap. Consolidation. Hit the weekly. Okay, our target was achieved. Here, weekly. Boom. Okay, that's how you're going to want to use it. Hopefully this video was helpful. You can find an indicator on TradingView, or you can download free software.